Hey, what's up, everybody, you beautiful Black people out there? This is your girl, Danielle Shelton, president of BFD Stockton Black Family Day. And we are so excited to kick off night 3 of our Kwanzaa special. Tonight's principle is Ujima. And to kick off, like we've done every single night, we have a special guest, some drumming and some libations that's going to be happening from our own Toussaint Stewart. And I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to him. Enjoy this libation and drumming ceremony.
Hey, Stockton, good evening. Welcome to our third night of Kwanzaa celebrations. I appreciate you all for coming out tonight to check this out. We have our 2 candles lit so far. Our first one was for Umoja, which is the black candle. Then we got a red candle for Kujichagulia. Now tonight is the third night of Kwanzaa, which is celebrating Ujima, collective work and responsibility. So if you have your canars at home, go ahead and light your candle. Should be one of the green ones. All right, now we are ready to start. So, Ujima, collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and solve them together. Okay. Also, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Also, for me, what it means is everybody plays their role. Get in where you fit in. Everybody has a unique contribution to the community that they need to step into and represent. So, Stockton, keep shining. Here we go. I will do some drumming for our community and for our ancestors. And after this drumming, we will have a libation ceremony to honor our ancestors in the community who have served us, and also so you can honor your ancestors as well. This is an ancient African tradition that we do before every Kwanzaa. So I will go ahead and do some drumming for our ancestors and for our community. Now it is time for our libation ceremony. Water represents life, everlasting life. Our ancestors are still with us. Every time we call out their names, they are acknowledged. And I'm pouring the water into this plant, which represents the community that is still growing. And our ancestors continue to contribute to our community that is still growing. So, first ancestor we'd like to honor is Edwin Nixon of the Inner City Theater. We say Ashe.
Ashe.
His daughter, Kathy Nixon, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Vody McCullough, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Willie Douglas, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Booker Lee, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Allison Carr Ware Muhammad, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Albert Brown, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Lavina Moppins Gray, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Floyd Comfort, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Vic Harris, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Ben Reddish, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Don Carter, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Rita Gurley Gross, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Shirley Orndorff, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Cleve Edwards, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
AJ Floyd, my grandfather, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Ann Davis Floyd, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Daryl Stewart, my father, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Wilma Alexander, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
James Bell, we say Ashe.
Ashe.
Now, we want you to call out the names of all of your ancestors. For all those people watching, call out the names of your ancestors and pour libation for them. And we say Ashe for your ancestors 3 times. Ashe.
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 The ancestors are with us. They have given us their protection to continue moving with this ceremony. May Ujima follow you all the days of 2021. And bless you, Stockton, Black Family Day. Kwanzaa, please join us tomorrow night as well. And enjoy the show tonight. Ashe.
Ashe. All righty. Thank you so much, Toussaint, for that wonderful tribute to our ancestors, and also just the drumming and explanation of our third principle. Again, say it with me, because I know some of these words is hard. So say it with me. Ujima. Ujima. And again, that means collective work. And we have some wonderful guests on the show with us tonight that will be talking about how they demonstrate Ujima. And I'm excited for you guys to learn about them. You know, most of them are ready because of their work. Their work is proof enough for them. But I do want to officially introduce some of our guests. Our first guest will be Anthony Robinson from the Echo Chamber. And a little bit later on, we will have Edible Schoolyard, which is Patricia Miller, and Alicia. And they have some wonderful things going on in the community, individually and collectively. So first, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Anthony from the Echo Chamber. Uh-oh. Cut up a little bit. Cut off. Anthony!
How's it going?
How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm
good.
Rejuvenated by that libation ceremony. So we all.
It was good. It was good. I'm so excited. We'll just talk to you a little bit about, I want you to talk to the people a little bit about your organization, who you are, and why you're so passionate about this collective work that you're doing in the community.
I say. Well, my name is Anthony Robinson Jr. For those that are just meeting me for the first time, I'm the executive director of the Echo Chamber, which is a community-based organization whose mission is to build capacity amongst the most marginalized populations in the area of reentry, formerly incarcerated, unsheltered, homeless populations, and system impacted and impacted communities. And for me, this work is important because I went away for 20 years, 2 weeks before high school graduation, at the age of 18, right? Not understanding none of the principles of Ujima and collective work, right? Was more caught up in tribalism, right? Get caught up in gang banging, right? So we was more working in silos. We was working against the collective. So for that, I went away for 20 years. But within that 20-year journey, it's interesting that the endemic environment of prison, right, where solid comrades was confined into that struggle, we began to find some of the principles of collective work and responsibility and just holding solidarity to ourselves and to a higher purpose of freedom once we got outside the bars, right? So for me, it became very important as I began to study and understand that Harriet Tubman redefined freedom, right? And that search for liberation. And she took it from an individual search, right? She took it from an individual search and pursuit to a collective pursuit when she went back for others, right? So when I got paroled after 20 years of being in prison and being out here for 2 years, right, and just through the grace of God having discharged my parole early and gave that memory back, but I knew it was important to kind of get back into the weeds of the collective work and kind of redefine that. Like I could have got out and been individualistic and made sure that as long as I was maintained and I wasn't violating my parole, with just working and kind of staying out of harm's way or out of the law's way, that would have been enough. But because of that vision that I found and caught hold to during my time of incarceration, I knew for me to get out and not work on behalf of my community and uplifting my community and helping to bridge that gap so youngsters wouldn't follow that footstep and have to do 20 years in prison before they were able to reach that maturity in their thinking. For me, that would have been a disservice. So Ujima is something that I live by even before I was really cognizant of it as a principle.
Right, that's awesome. And so, do you work with other people in this organization, or is it just you? There's
No,
other
no,
people
we definitely work. I mean, we work collaboratively
Right.
with a lot of folks right now. We've been in operation. It'll be a year in March, right? We've been fortunate enough to be founded through COVID. It's a 3 members mission. We work with different. We work with Edible Schoolyard, actually. We've been working with them, kind of distributing boxes to the community, etc.
Awesome. I just brought that up because I think it's very important that we talk about the collective work. You know that this thing is big and you cannot do it yourself. So you call on your not only other organizations, but other people who have been through what you've been through. And collectively, you guys have said, look, we have this responsibility to not just make it for ourselves, but to also help those other people. I love what you talked about as far as Harriet Tubman and how you gleaned off of that, because it is our responsibility. Because if we don't teach them, how will they know? And if we don't make a way for others, how, it's just going to be harder for them. And we want things to be better. If we want things to be better, we got to help. But they don't waste the same time and energy and make the same mistakes that, of course, we have. So I applaud you, and I'm so excited that you are not only doing the work, but you understand the responsibility and the heaviness of it, right?
Definitely.
All right. So tell us about some of the programs that you have going on in the community. I know that you guys have been doing some drives, and you talked about your work with the edible schoolyard. So tell us a little bit about some other partners that you're working with and some of the work that you're doing.
Most definitely. Well, the first lifting up one of the important collaborations that I thought with Edible Schoolyard was important because of what they're doing around bringing sustainability to the impacted, marginalized neighborhoods. Like I say, once we start to grow our own, right, and be able to eat from our own backyard through gardening, and that's sustainable because gardening is collective work, right? And once you build a garden, you also have a collective responsibility to share, because anybody that grows a garden knows once that first harvest touches down, you have plenty. You can't put it in your fridge, you can't store it, and you can't stock it. So I just wanted to kind of lift that up. One of the projects we're working on right now, and the We Can project, I collaborated with a good brother, Evan Hayes, right? And We Can stands for Work Economic Collective Advocacy Network. So what We Can, the Echo Chamber has been fortunate to have a vision to bring the unsheltered and homeless folks into entrepreneurship around recycling. What we like to do is partner up with businesses that will allow us to put weekend recycling bins in their establishments, and the stipend unsheltered homeless folks that we're working on our team will collect and be responsible for maintaining that recycling. We're just asking the public to educate themselves around some of their biases around unsheltered and homeless folks, and try to move the situation between Stockton just managing the homeless to eradicating homelessness as a condition, right? Because like I say, we're in the same boat. So when I look at being born and raised in a city like Stockton, one of the things that was a culture shock to me after doing 20 years incarcerated and coming back home was how the homeless population had ballooned, right, in our city. And I was like, one of the questions that came and just kept running around my mind was like, on whose watch did this population just increase in such mass, right? And how do we assess that population to see like who can come back into sustainability, gain some life skills, get back on their feet with just a little help, a little collective responsibility, a little Ujima principles, right? So with the weekend project, it's something that the Echo Chamber is hoping to get off the ground and be sustainable.
Okay, so how does, if someone wants to be a part of We Can, that movement that you're pushing, how do they how can one person be involved in that? How can they volunteer? How can they give? How can they give goods? All of that. Tell us.
Most definitely. We're gonna be around through Stockton. We was out canvassing today. We have a three part thing. We're canvassing with the unsheltered folks, seeing what participants want to be involved, doing assessments, doing interviews, right? Also the public advocacy and awareness, right? Folks really just check in and see how we've managed the homeless situation and how you can help. Like say, don't wait on we can, right? Because you can, right? So it's just like reach out to Evan Hayes, reach out to myself. We're having signups. We're doing what we can to kind of raise funds. So when we ask the unsheltered folks for their participation, we can stipend them, we can kind of give them something sustainable and reward them for their time. But for the most part is the businesses that we're going to need to put our recycle bins in and kind of just building that partnership and starting to see the unsheltered folks not as a menace or as like a leopard type condition, right? But as some folks that just need a little help, a little solidarity, and like I say, a little collective work and responsibility. So we have a shared responsibility to understand that until we're all sheltered securely, none of us is sheltered securely.
Okay, so your call out. Okay, so your call. I heard that you need bins, that you are taking donations.
Definitely.
And what else? If you had to say a couple more things of specific items that you need in order to do this
we need the public
work.
to come in, publicly come out. We'll be out here doing canvassing because it's the public that also is going to give that reach to show the homeless for that, hey, you are cared for. We see you, right? We're going to be doing trainings. We're going to do facilitation. We're going to be doing groups. So when we have these things and you see it, you're going to hear about it. Just show up. That's what we're asking at this phase of it. Show up, get involved. Folks can contact me. I put my email in the chat. We can put that up later. Call me directly. Like I said, I'm very easy to get in touch with.
Okay, awesome. So we are going. Hopefully, your information will be put on the screen. But also after this airing, you can go to our Facebook, you can go to our website, and you'll be able to click onto links to get in contact with Anthony and his wonderful organization, all the things that he's trying to do. I'm sure that if you're working with the homeless, you may need clothes, you may need blankets. And again, always money is always a help. So I thank you for sharing your passion, your passion behind the reason why you do the collective work and the reason why you feel a responsibility to help your community. Thank you for all you do. And I'm sure we will have you back on to just talk about all the great things that you've accomplished. Thank you very much, Anthony.
I say, Ujima.
Ujima. All right. So our next guest is amazing. There are actually two of them. They have collaborated on multiple ventures in the city, and also again with our Anthony in the Echo Lounge. So with no further ado, we welcome Patricia Miller and Alicia Barnett.
Hello, Danielle. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing just wonderful, trying to not cut up my braces. I know you guys, I keep doing this with my teeth, so I'm sorry, you guys. But I hope it doesn't impact this wonderful interview with these wonderful people. Patricia and Alicia, won't you tell us a little bit about yourselves individually, and then tell us about what you're doing collectively?
So I am Patricia Miller, and I have been in Stockton for over 30 years. Recently retired from Stockton PD, but my long journey has been, I've been a farmer for over 25 years. And with
Wow.
that, realizing and living in Stockton and seeing poverty, seeing the disparities, the health disparities, the issues of food injustice and food systems that are broken. That is what led me to put my hands in the soil, to take the seeds. The seeds are the children for me. The seeds are how we grow them, how we nurture them, how we give them everything that they need to be successful. That is one side. The other side now is my added value is with Edible Schoolyard and meeting this wonderful human being, my sister from another mother and father, Chef Leisha Barnett, and she's going to tell you her story. But together we met on a farm that I built at Boggs Track, and we dug in. We dug in and we got it done. We have a beautiful relationship, and we teach children, families, and organizations. I gotta give a shout out to my brother Anthony Robinson. He is one of the ones that, with collective understanding on how we work together, that is the sustainability on what we are going to do and overcome food systems that are that plague us. So yes, that's me individually.
Okay. Like she said, we met on the farm and we connected there. I am Chef Leisha. I am a veteran. I got my start in cooking in the Navy, and well, at home, but professionally in the Navy. Got out, continued to do this work where the brutal work of working in kitchens everywhere before going into business for myself. So now I am known as Oakland Girl. I have Oakland Girl Spice line out, t-shirts and hoodies. But my work is centered around food security as well. So I have a degree in nutrition, and part of the reason why I wanted to go that route was because of the health disparities that I saw specifically in our community, knowing that if we only had the tools, we could achieve wellness, not just be healthy by European standards, but actual true wellness from the inside out. As I searched for my own version of what wellness looked like, that's how we got to this place where every little piece, every piece of that puzzle that I collected for myself, I said, my people need to know it. So that transformed into classes online before COVID. I did lots of Zoom classes, lots of teaching in Facebook groups and social media, in-person classes, the opening of the Barnett Community Wellness Center, all of those things where I could connect the people with the tools, become a resource. So when Pat and I started to work together on some things, it was that missing link, because I had started to grow vegetables in my yard and do a little bit of this and that. And I saw how it changed my children, how it impacted their curiosity for food and to be in the kitchen space. So all of those things just made them light up. And I said, well, maybe there is something to this. This is the missing piece. So together we are the farmer and the chef.
Right. That's awesome.
Where we're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And Edible Schoolyard is one of those vehicles that we've been able to do that in, by creating the curriculum for the students at Taylor Leadership Academy and teaching and delivering the food. It's just been an amazing journey.
So
I just want to say again, I just thank you guys for being on your mission, on your purpose. Because you guys were doing your purpose. You were doing what you were supposed to be doing when you were supposed to be doing. You guys were able to link up and collectively even make a bigger impact in the community. And that's awesome when you're prepared, when you're ready, when you can just let's move, let's go. And it sounds like from both of your stories, because you and your purpose, because you're passionate about not only doing collective work, but you felt a responsibility to your community. It all linked up. It all worked out. And look at what's happening now. So again, kudos, congratulations, thank you. Not only from Stockton Black Family Day, but from not only from the city of Stockton, but I know that you're impacting and you're doing collective work even outside of your local community. So thank you so much. Now, tell us a little bit about the different collective movement, the collective movement that you're doing with Edible. I keep wanting to say schoolyard.
you're right.
But so tell us about, number one, tell us how are you distributing, and tell us how we get involved, and tell us what you need from us to help you in this collective work that you're continuing doing.
So the Edible Schoolyard organization started. We're in our 25th anniversary, and our founder, Alice Waters, who is a 5-star Michelin chef and the restaurant owner of Chez Panisse restaurant in Berkeley, knew that the slow food movement is what needed to happen. So slow food means being able to watch something grow.
Okay.
Being able to sit down at a table and grow with your family.
Wow.
Being able to learn culturally and what our ancestors gave us. So when you sit at Alice's table, it's going to be a minute, okay? She's not rushing anything. So
right.
that is where I knew when I first met our executive director, Angela McKee Brown, an amazing sister, just understood how children and families needed to be seen, because our culture is who we are.
Right.
What has happened over the last 30 years with fast foods, with hamburgers, with hot dogs, with French fries, there's nothing wrong with that. But if we are going to feed our children, we've got to understand what that is actually doing to our bodies.
And the balance.
The balance is if a child is in school and they're hungry and they haven't had a meal for whatever reason, if they go into the school, can't that child eat well at school? That's the way that that's the way that I ate. Where you had chefs in the cafeteria serving food. That was taken away because they said we got to eat lunch in 5 minutes.
Right.
So there is less nutritional value now of what these children are eating. And when Angie and I met, and her passion was, we can change this, we can change what food systems look like, because why? San Joaquin County is the largest food agriculture producer in the entire state of California, and we feed 57% of the world. Why do we have poverty that is at 28, 29, 30% in our own backyard? We can change that. And that is what I saw when I first got here. So looking at that, looking at the tools that I needed, it was going back to the farm. It was building more farms so that children and families have access to, where does my food grow?
Right. And
Being able to meet this wonderful human being, knowing that my grandmother and my mother and my aunts all taught me how to cook. I was in the kitchen. Leisha and I connected so well on that process. We just said, this is what we're going to do.
yes, because again, you're fulfilling your purpose. You're fulfilling you're chasing after your passion, and you're getting in where you fit in. And that's the beautiful and wonderful thing about collaboration and collective work. And I'm so grateful. We had Tashante on yesterday, and she has this phrase that talks about collaboration over competition. You know, I mean, the company is huge. It's big. There's no reason for us to be competing. We should be all working together and working together, and because it is our responsibility to work together and pass on the tradition.
We have to leave ego to the side and really think about the generations to come and what type of relationship that we are going to cultivate in our community. We can't continue to look to other people to save us when right here we have everything we need.
Yes.
Right. So I'm so excited again that you guys are here and you're talking to us and educating us and teaching us about this. I know when I was little, I seen my granny grow tomatoes. She grew tomatoes and bell peppers, and she took me out to the fields to learn how to do peas. I actually thought they were regular peas, but they were black-eyed peas. I was upset about that, but I ate them anyways. But those are the fond memories that I have in my mind. And I've always wanted to grow my own stuff. So really quick, because we're out of time, really quick, tell us, number one, how to get in contact with you. Number two, how to learn more about farming and this collective work that you're doing.
So as a farmer, I did leave my information and Chef Leisha's information in the chat, so it should come up. But there's our website, www.edibleschoolyard.org. That's in Berkeley. We are on that page. We both have Facebook pages. I am Patricia Miller, and I also have Centerplate, which is my business. I create juice and smoothies. We are also Edible Schoolyard Stockton on Instagram. And Chef, if you want to.
And I am Chef Leisha Lee on Instagram and Chef Leisha on Facebook and Chef Leisha on Twitter as well. And my phone number is everywhere. Yes. Our numbers are everywhere. Email is everywhere. Like we're always on social media too. So if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to send a message. We will respond. We just really love what we do, and we want to empower the people. That's really what it's about.
So Danielle, the last thing is, since the third week in March, we have brought 250,000 pounds of organic produce into Stockton.
Right.
Given over 9,000 CSA boxes during that time. Our last day will be Wednesday at Van Buskirk. If you need fresh produce, anybody can come. Please, in the noon, please come out and get your fresh produce, okay? And in January, we've got some more updates. We are not going away. We got bigger and better things that are happening in 2021. So I thank you. We thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us. And whenever you want us to come back to give us updates, give you guys updates.
We will. Be looking out for BFDTV because it's a regular thing that we're going to be doing. Okay. Can you bring Anthony back on the screen? Anthony, Patricia, Leisha, two sons. You're smaller, huh? Well, anyways, I thank you. We all thank you all together. Let's say,
there we go.
There we go.
Yes.
Let's say today's principle together. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ujima.
Kima. Thank you guys so much for joining us today and educating and giving back. Thank you for watching Stockton Black Family Day. We'll be back tomorrow for the fourth principle. And we just thank you so much for, again, tuning in. If you missed anything, please visit our website, StocktonBlackFamilyDay.com. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube at BFDTV online. Thank you very much.
I say.
See you next